Okay, this is the third time we're starting. Are we ready to go?
Pop goes the weasel.
Yeah, we're ready.
Hey, man. Welcome to the Big Bad Broadcast, dude.
From miracle.victoria1 at TikTok.
What do you take for your anxiety and depression? Weed. What about when you get really angry? Weed. What about when you have trouble sleeping? What do you do? Weed. I know you used to get really nauseous. What about that? Weed. But you used to do so many drugs. How did you get past all that? Fucking weed, bro.
Weed.
Her parents are very proud.
Oh,
Well, good afternoon and welcome to the Big Bad Broadcast. We got a great show for you today. We have Mike Grief, Dean of the Clown College.
What
we
was the,
got weed, baby.
what was the pause there? We got...
Because he
That
was
was
trying
dramatic.
to swallow.
Oh,
He's
okay.
eating.
All
We
right.
have weed, man. We have weed. Hold on. Let me roll my weed.
And not only that, we have the highest paid guy on the show, Greg Mitchell.
Could you
Yeah,
not remember
yeah.
our names, John?
I've been doing that for dramatic cause.
I'm
Dramatic pause.
very proud of that fact. I spent weeks in arbitration to become the highest paid person here,
And
That's
you
right.
are.
That's right.
and I deserve
And you
it.
are.
I never
And,
make mistakes. Never.
Yes, and
Never.
it's been a big
Weed.
week. It's been a big week.
It's been a big weed week.
Okay, so I have to tell you, I was in Washington Park in Greenwich Village,
Yes.
and everybody's smoking weed. Because
Yes.
especially, I mean, people have been smoking weed in Washington
As a matter of
Park
fact, you
for-
get a ticket. You get a ticket in Washington Square Park if you're not smoking weed.
Yes. Well, which is what I got to tell you. So everybody's smoking weed. It's legal in New York. You can't walk down the street without getting a contact high.
Right.
And I'm in Washington Square Park, and this guy takes out a beer, and 3 cops run over.
Yeah. Fucking.
You can't
fucking
have that
alcoholic.
beer.
Can't
You
have
can't
that
have
beer.
that out in public.
Fucking alcoholic. Can't you control yourself? Smoke a joint like everyone else, you bastard.
I mean, everyone's smoking weed, but this guy opened
Come
up
on.
a beer in a
That's right.
paper bag, and it was like a felony.
Because you know why, John? Because everyone's got glaucoma. I got glaucoma.
No, you don't even have to have glaucoma.
Weed. I need weed for my glaucoma, man. Yeah.
So I went into a weed store, right? Because
Wait,
I always
wait.
want.
You
I
went
always,
into a weed store.
yeah,
why did
I went
you
into
go
a weed store because I always wondered if weed was legal, whether I would smoke again.
Okay.
Because I used to love to smoke weed.
Right.
I did,
Yeah.
and it's just too strong and it's too nuts, you know.
No, it's like super weed now. It's like the weed from Krypton and shit. It's like
So I
Superman
went in
weed.
there, and the girl behind the counter, very attractive black woman,
Super weed.
said to me, do you smoke weed? And I go, well, not anymore. I go, I used to smoke weed, but it's just way too strong now. And
Yeah.
she goes, I agree. It makes me paranoid.
Me too.
And you went, why did you say that?
Yeah.
But anyway,
You're in my head, man.
my friend in Colorado went into a weed store, and they said, do you smoke weed? And he said, not anymore. It's too strong. And the guy goes, well, how old are you? And he goes, like 72. And he goes, well, come on with me. You got to go to the old school weed.
You got
And he
special
said,
weed
and he
section.
said, this is the same weed that you used to smoke in the 60s. And he goes, it won't make you paranoid. It'll just make you a little bit hungry, and you'll laugh your ass off. And just like the weed you used to smoke.
Well,
He goes, it's $5 a joint and $10, and it comes in a test tube like a pre-roll joint, like a prescription. And he goes, today's Wednesday. It's BOGO. Buy one, get one free.
whoa, hey, what a deal.
So he goes every Wednesday, and he says, this is exactly the weed we used to smoke.
You know what I don't get
Why?
though? So who's smoking this? I mean, are the kids today, are their metabolisms have changed? Why do they need weed so friggin' strong?
I don't know, because I guess somebody once told me that if you can sell weed for like, I don't know, I don't even know what it costs anymore, but if you can sell weed for like something like $400 an ounce,
Yeah.
and we used to pay 2 ounces for 25.
Yeah, I don't know.
So like, why wouldn't you bring over the more expensive weed?
I don't know. All I know is that weed used to get, like you said, give me the munchies. I would eat like a whole piece. This new weed, I mean, I'd probably take a bite out of a live cow. You know what I mean?
I grew
would
up
just
and
start
smoked-
eating the
I-
fucking cow live.
I smoked weed in the late 70s, so if it doesn't have paraquat, I don't want it.
Yeah, if it can't kill me in cancer, I don't
I want
want
the
it.
paraquat, man. That was the good shit.
Remember Emily Latella did that on Saturday Night Live? What's
Yeah.
all this thing about parrot squat?
Parrot squat.
Why are they putting that in marijuana?
Who remembers that
I bet
today?
you a lot of people don't even remember what paraquat was.
People don't remember.
It was something the government sprayed on the field, so when you smoked it, you got sick, right?
Yeah,
That's
I
right,
guess.
man.
I don't know. It just made me higher. So
I just remembered from my days in Nam, man. When I was in Nam, you know.
what were you, the only fetus in
What were
Nam?
you there on what were you there?
I was there in 1986. It was a little different. It was like Club Vietnam.
He was having some pho.
Yeah.
He was going to pho restaurants.
So
it's a big week. We're not going to talk about politics, but old Donnie got indicted on 37 counts, and the Republicans are just saying, no, he didn't. It's all fake.
He's so indicted.
It's such a sad state of the country. He's
gonna go to jail, and we love it.
Just think about how crazy this is, right?
I was disappointed. I went to the rally, I was like, because he called and I went down and I figured, you know what, shit, I could use a new hat and a discount flag or something, but nobody showed up.
It's like when you went to the other one for free tiki torch.
Yeah, free fucking tiki torches, man.
Oh man!
But see, instead of Jews will not replace us, I had to say, I will not replace me.
I will not.
I will not replace me.
So wait, let's just lay one thing, right? The guy goes in, he gets indicted on 37 counts.
That's all?
And espionage, right? Which is like huge. Then he gets on a plane and he flies to Jersey to do a fundraiser and then does a speech, and they fact check the speech. There was not one thing he said in that 20-minute speech that was true.
You know why? Weed.
He's a liar. He's a liar.
Fucking weed, bro.
Come on, man. He's smoking weed.
It's and the Republicans, I mean, some of them are just dumb as hell. I mean, they go, he stored him in a bathroom, and they go, well, there's a lot of bathrooms in Mar-a-Lago.
No, a lot of people saying that wasn't a bathroom. I go, so you put
it had a toilet.
you put a toilet? Will you put a toilet in a vault? Is that what you're doing? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Well, But anyway, so
now,
John,
wait,
happy
I want to ask
birthday.
John.
Anyway, I just don't want to see that guy's face again. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about any Republicans.
Real quick,
I
did
think
you
they're
see
crazy.
All the boxes on the stage? There was a stage.
Yeah, that was the stage. Unfortunately, I
I
had to share that stage with those boxes. If I knew they were there, I would have brought some home to read on the show.
I've seen though. There's an open mic there every Wednesday. You do up on. Yeah, you lean on the boxes and you just, it's a stage and you just you do your 5 minutes on.
Oh God.
Welcome to Mar-a-Lago.
It's an improv thing. You reach into the box.
You reach into the box, whatever you grab.
And then you have to do a joke.
There you go. Hey, did you know Iran's nuclear program is? You just start doing 5 minutes on whatever you grab.
Anyway, Craig. The big important thing is Craig thinks he may have COVID. And we're going to do a COVID test on the show.
When?
Craig's.
You can start it now because it's 15 minutes.
Come on. All right. Stick the thing up.
So you need to explain exactly what you're doing for these people.
All right.
First of all, we have to say that Craig has been vaccinated.
I've been vaccinated. I've been many times.
In the back of his car.
I've been injected most of my life. I've been injected most of my life.
Yeah, we know.
How many COVID boosters have you had?
No, he was just helping that guy over the fence.
He was 3.
He was just helping that guy out.
Well, there was Steve, there was Charlie, and of course we can't forget Joe.
Those are the guys that he had to use a booster seat for.
No, I got the 2 initial, and then I got 3 boosters, including the.
Wow. I got 3 boosters too.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm questioning whether mine are real or not, man. Because my appointment was behind Rite Aid by a dumpster, man. I paid a guy $20 to get my boosters. And then I was like high for 2 days after I got the shot.
I just ruined my the
shit. That's what you guys look like.
Get another one. I'll be right back.
John put on glasses. You can finally see what we look like.
I go, shit. That's what you guys look like.
I know. I'm gonna take mine off.
You look like Mr. Peepers in those glasses.
I am
Mr. Peepers. So John, happy
test. Hold on.
Hold on. So while he's doing that, I want to wish you a happy birthday, John.
Well, thank you. And I have to tell the audience what a sweet bunch of friends I have. And too bad you can't see this, but I talked last week about my magic kit, and I didn't know what it was called, that my grandfather gave me on my 7th birthday, and they found it and bought it for me.
Yes,
and
we've-
it was really exciting.
I'll give credit.
I've looked for this magic set at magic conventions, a collector's thing, that I didn't know what it was called.
Well, they got this
Now-
thing called the interweb now, and Craig
No,
knows
but I
how to
didn't
use it.
I don't even know how you found. What did you put in? Cutting a lady in half?
I forget what. Yeah, I basically said plastic magic kit 50s, cut person in half. Something like
Yeah, I mean, it's
Really?
called Sneaky Pete's Broadway Magic Set.
Well, and so now on your stage show, you're going to bring it up there and do a trick from Sneaky Pete's, right?
right.
No, but I have the manual right here in front of me.
It's the manual.
Emmanuel,
The
what?
manual
Emmanuel Lewis.
is how to be a magician.
Oh wait, I got to hear this. How to be? Go ahead. Let's
Oh,
hear
wait, before you, I just let you know that I got the stick. I'm showing you. You can't see it, but
it.
I now I'm going to put it in my nose.
He's putting it in his. I'll describe. He's pinching his nose. He's putting it up there. Oh, I think he hit his brain. He's wincing.
He knows
Wait.
First time I had a COVID test, they put the thing so far up my nose it wiped out my memory of high school.
Yeah, no. They put it so far up, I had to take a crap. Right.
A short story about magic.
Yes, come on.
A
How do you?
long time ago, people believed that magic was a strange and mysterious power. People believed that a magician could do most anything he wanted. They believed he could make a sick man well or change a man into an animal. They believed he could chase away evil spirits
Oh.
or help them to win a battle in a way that a magician was very much like a jungle witch doctor. And of course, we all know that a witch doctor is just a very clever magician. Do you know the story of King Arthur?
Greg, you don't have to
The story
shove
of
that thing
King
into your
Arthur
brain.
was,
The
You, only-
what? I
you
don't
put it in
like
and you
it.
rub it
No.
around. Jesus.
could you put your hand over because I'm going to puke?
No. You see, you just ruined it. I was touching myself. now
Why
I
do you
can't even
have
do
to
that
put
anymore.
that so far up your nose?
I know you're not supposed to. You put it in and you
You
roll
just-
it around.
That's
Friggin'
supposed to
Greg,
touch that. That's supposed to touch your frontal lobe with
he's,
it.
he's scraping off tonsil with the friggin' thing.
He
All right, I'm
touches.
done. I am
He tou-
crying though.
He touches frontal lobe with it.
Jesus.
Frontal lobe.
All right.
Thank
Now,
God.
which
my
one?
frontal
Which one
lobe.
do you have? Do you have the one where you put it in the
The envelope thing.
envelope one?
Oh, the envelope.
The
one.
envelope, please. And
Isn't
the
it
winner
supposed
is
to, I have the ones
COVID.
that have a little tube of liquid.
Plastic. Yeah.
So you rub it around in your nose for 5 twirls, then 5 twirls in the other nostril. Then you put it in the liquid and you put the lime in the coconut. You shake a bowl up. You put the lime in the
I
coconut.
forget which order to do it. Do I put the liquid in first or do I put it in later?
Holy gee. You read the
Jeez.
directions is what you do.
I don't
Yeah.
have an erection.
You got to read the directions.
Okay.
I think you put 2 drops on the card first.
I've never used one. with
I
the
don't know.
cards,
I
so
don't remember.
All right. So
So
You,
back to anyway, yeah, so this tells you about this magic set. It's very funny. It says how
well,
to
yeah, I
do
want to ask
listen,
you one. Go ahead.
how to
Brad.
do it, right?
Yeah.
It's not hard to be a magician. These wonderful tricks in your Remco magic set make it easy. Now you learn how to do these tricks. In the last part of the book, you will learn how to put together a complete magic show. Learn one trick at a time. The pictures show you the parts of each trick. Take these parts and place them on a table in front of you. As you read, do exactly what the instructions tell you to do. Practice each trick once or twice in front of the mirror, and this way you'll see exactly how the audience sees it when you perform the trick. You'll find very soon that you'll not need the book at all, but keep it a secret. Always
Mm,
remember that a trick is not a trick if people know how it's done.
that's
Now
right.
take a towel and wrap it around your head. Listen to this.
Now take a hammer and hit yourself in the
Listen to this. First time, invite mom and dad and all your friends. All you need is a stage for a table. For
Now
a
this
stage
is
a
from the
table.
50s. This thing is from the 50s, right?
Yeah, all you need is a costume. It's a towel wrapped around your head like a turban. Before anyone comes prepared, you have learned. Place the tricks along the side of the table, but keep the center clear for your performance.
Oh,
When
Now,
everyone
you-
is seated, you begin. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the great Swami.
do you remember doing this, John?
Oh,
I do remember. I don't remember putting a towel on my head. But I
Okay,
do remember.
Well,
15 minutes.
15
All
minutes.
right,
Here's
15
what I
minutes.
here's what I wanted to
Alexa.
ask.
Set timer for 15 minutes.
John, did you have a magic hero back in when you first started? Was there a magician that was like
No.
was it Houdini?
No, not at all. I mean, I used to watch magicians on Ed Sullivan. I didn't even know their names. I
Ed
learned
Sullivan.
later now that it's probably Fantasia was one of them. And my grandfather, who we talked about, who was in show business, managed a guy named Cardini, who,
Houdini.
when you go to the Magic Castle, they have a whole display downstairs of all of his stuff.
Oh, you'll have to show me that next time.
And my grandfather used to manage him. He goes,
Wow.
"Oh, God, he's always doing card tricks."
So you weren't like a fan of Houdini in particular? Like I
I didn't
thought
really
he was
know.
the magic god. You know,
I didn't really. And the funny thing is, Houdini was like not really a magician. He was an escape artist.
That's true. I saw a whole. I was watching a special the other day how they thought that it was like sort of a scandal at one point. They thought maybe the guy who punched him, because people don't know,
Right.
Houdini his appendix burst after he
Right.
was famous for being able to take a punch.
He was in
And
amazing shape. He was
in amazing shape. He had his stomach, whatever, and so he could take a punch. He would challenge people to punch him as hard as they could. And this one guy punched him. Maybe he wasn't ready for it. But
He wasn't
burst him.
ready. He was in his
And
dressing
ruptured his
room,
appendix.
and he
And
was
they're-
getting up, and the guy just nailed him.
So
name
they're
the two actors who have played Houdini in movies. One was
Tony Curtis,
Yep.
and I know the
This
other
one
one.
is a TV movie.
Frankie Bagara, Frankie Vijay. Frankie
Yeah.
Vijay, he played him. There you go. Well, who
No,
is it, Craig?
Paul
Tony
Michael Glazer, who played Starsky and
there you
Starsky
go.
and Hutch.
But Houdini,
Well,
Tony
he was
Curtis
a-
was the real one. But anyway, listen to this. The most famous magician at the time, his last name was Houdin.
Houdin.
And Houdini means like Houdin.
Wow.
Like
Now,
Buckley.
so did Houdini steal that name from
That'd be
him?
like me saying,
Griefin. I'm Griefin because you want to be the best comic. See, Griefin. No.
Steve Martini.
Steve Martin.
I bet you I have COVID. I think I do.
Hey, did you guys see there's a clip on TikTok of Steve Martin's first TV appearance where he does magic?
When he has dark
No.
hair.
Dark hair and he does magic.
No, I did not see that.
Yep.
Did
And
not.
he's terrible. I mean, it's
The
just
first, honestly, I think the first time I ever became aware of Steve Martin might have been SNL.
really. Oh, he had
Smothers Brothers.
he had an HBO special when HBO first came out where he did all magic.
Yeah,
He used to do,
but I
yeah,
don't
he
think I
used-
ever saw it. I mean, I think my
he used to
first
walk around and
awareness-
go, "Hi, I'm Steve Martin. I'll be out here pretty soon."
I remember him doing a bit with a banjo on the Smothers Brothers, but it might have been their second series. I don't know if it was their first.
He goes to go, "Now I'd like to do a card trick for you." He goes, "This is the Queen of Diamonds," and he shows the Queen of Diamonds, and this is a glass of water. I'm going to place it inside the deck, and I want the whole audience to scream, "Queen of Diamonds, come down and dance." And he
I
shuffles
remember
up the
that.
deck
I
and he
remember
goes,
that.
"Queen of Diamonds, come down and dance." He goes, "Dee, dee, 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 dee," splashes it in the water.
I
He
do
takes a
remember that.
napkin. Remember the napkin one? He goes,
Doesn't he go
"Here's
Esther
an
Williams
amazing-"
when she goes in the water?
Yeah, he goes,
Esther
"Esther Williams." He goes, "Here's an amazing magic trick." He takes a napkin, puts it over his mouth, sticks his tongue through it. Thank you.
I do remember this.
No, I
He
remember
takes a
him, I
candle.
remember him coming
He
out
takes
the
a
arrow through his
candle,
head.
right? He takes a candle and he goes, "And now the vanishing candle trick." And he holds it above his head and the candle disappears. And then he does the rest of the show with his arm out like this because he can't back.
No, I
Really-
remember the arrow through the head, and of course, King Tut.
I'm
Ding
curious. Now, when he had the dark hair, do you think he dyed it? Because I know he went prematurely gray. Because his hair was jet black in that clip. So I'm wondering if he was dyeing his hair back then.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I know it's
Maybe.
such a fertile question. It got such great answers. I don't know who gives a shit.
I don't know. I mean, I was thinking that when I was watching, I was actually thinking the same thing when I watched that clip because his hair was really dark.
Yeah.
I remember my in-laws told me that they saw Steve Martin at Westbury Music Fair opening for somebody. And they came back and said, "We saw the worst comedian in the world."
That's what I used to think of Andy Kaufman. Everyone thought Andy Kaufman's a genius. He's this, he's that. I always thought yes, in a ridiculous way, it was funny. Like he'd stand there and then play the Mighty Mouse song, and it'd be Mr. Chud, the whole thing. And
Here
then,
I come
here
to save
to-
the day.
and in a weird ass way, it was
Because he
but-
was the first, he was like one of the first performance
to
artists.
do something that bizarre. Yeah, I guess. But
Him and Zabrowski.
him and Zabrowski.
Oh
who
my
did the-
God.
who laid there the worm?
The worm.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
no,
I'll never forget that. So for the people who don't know what we're talking about, my brother-in-law, Jeff Zabrowski, was like a performance artist. He was fearless. And I remember one night I was working with him. I said, how do you want me to bring you up? And he goes, just introduce me as the worm comedian. So I go, what is that? He goes, just introduce me as the worm. So I go,
You know what
ladies and
might have
gentlemen,
been better if he had a little fear.
I go, here's the next one. I go, the next comedian I affectionately call the worm. And all of a sudden, there's nobody there. And he slithers up on stage, which takes about a minute and a half, and then just laid there.
Let's see.
And this guy, and he laid there for like 2 minutes. And this guy goes, aren't you going to say anything? He stands up and he goes, worms don't talk. And laid
my
that
God.
down.
Oh my God.
My favorite,
I would be
Jeff
afraid if
Zabrowski. I'm sorry, my favorite Jeff Zabrowski moment ever was at Mr. Rips. Remember Mr. Rips?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was Mr. Rips with the great Vince D'Antona. And basically Jeff was on stage and he did his famous atheist wrestling with God routine.
Yeah.
And that's
Right.
where he basically fakes like he's wrestling and he does a front flip and lands on his back on the stage. I mean, it's incredible. But he did it this time and his head caught the edge of
the piano.
Or the piano.
Yeah, it was a piano.
Which is always fun.
And he's just laying there, and nobody knew what
Bleeding.
to do. So Vince D'Antona goes up, and that's with the puppet George, and he sits there, and Jeff is still on the floor, and then the puppet looks down and goes, "That'll teach you to fuck with God."
It would have been funny if the puppet would have looked at him and went, ta-da! Oh my God.
That must have fucking hurt, though, man. Holy shit!
Oh yeah.
So,
So anyway, we were talking about for my birthday.
that medallion,
lovely-
that thing.
My
you got
lovely
that-
girlfriend Chris gave me a coin from 1615 from the
from a
Etosha,
shipwreck, right?
from a shipwreck, and it's 99.9% silver. There's no other crap in it. And there, you can't see it, but there's a cross in it. It's a pirate doubloon. And the cross in it was so that people, when they bought something, they could break off a piece of the coin. So like a quarter of the coin, or so that's where you heard the
Is that
expression
2 bits?
1 bit, 2 bit.
2 bits.
That's
a
what it
quarter,
is.
A quarter.
I had a coin like that, but I used it for a gumball. I was hungry.
Oh,
I
righty
know,
then.
yeah.
And
All the bits.
here's
All the
something my
bits.
daughter didn't know. Do you guys know what cobblestones in New York are?
Yes.
Yeah, of
You know,
course.
who doesn't know what
What?
cobblestone
What
was?
is it?
That's what they paved the streets with. They're big square, big
cobblestone,
But
rectangular.
why?
stones.
But why?
Why did
so,
they use them?
so the urine can travel
No,
away.
no, it's a sailing thing.
Sailing?
All the ships sail from Europe to Manhattan to
Was
pick
that
up
their
supplies.
ballast?
So they would fill the bottom of the ship
For
with
ballast,
cobblestones
right?
as the ballast, so the ship wouldn't flip over. Then when they got to New York, they would fill the ship with merchandise and they would take the stones out and just leave them there.
Yeah.
So after many years, there was millions of these stones everywhere. And they decided they were going to pave the streets with them because they didn't know how to get rid of them.
Well, I'd say I don't know if I necessarily believe that, but here's another
It's fact.
maritime legend I've heard. It's like, you know why crap is called shit is because when they transport it, because I guess they used it as fertilizer or something. They'd say you have to put it up high so it doesn't get wet. So it was ship high in transit. Shit. I don't know if
Really?
that's true or not either. Shit. Ship
Well,
high
you know
in
why?
transit.
Do you know why the slur for Italian Americans was WOP? You know, I don't want to
WAP.
say it.
WAP.
You know why it was WAP?
Why was it WAP?
Without papers.
Without
Without papers.
yes, and it's too
That's
long.
It's weird. It's weird how all these acronyms have weird origins.
And it's why you don't hear like south of the border, the acronym isn't like, scratches on my back from the fence.
Oh, do you know what? Do you know what? You know what an avocado is named after?
What's I think I've heard this, but go ahead.
Testicles.
And how
Somebody
does
looked at an avocado and said, "That looks like a big green testicle." And somewhere the green giant's going, "Ho ho hey!"
But wait a minute. No, that doesn't make any sense.
It's true.
How does avocado translate testicle?
I
Does
think
avocado mean testicle in
I think
another
it's a
language?
fancy way of saying testicle in Mexican. I don't know,
I don't know, avocado.
but
Hey, you
that's what
got
it's named after.
no,
It's named
actually, it's
after
in I think in Latin it's huevos. You got some huevos.
huevos,
That's
but
eggs.
it's named after a testicle because
It's-
it kind of looks like one.
Ho ho ho!
If your
green
testicle looks like
avocados.
that, you need to go to a doctor.
The Incredible Hulk's like, those are not avocados.
Yeah.
Those
Oh,
are Hulk man.
Hulk balls hurt.
The Hulk had COVID. That's what testicles look like now.
Hulk smashed by accident. Oh.
Big smash.
Well, now
Oh.
I'm reading about cobblestones. It says nothing about what I just told you.
Yes, because it sounds a little crazy, John. Why would they go through the cobblestone was made
Because
to
they-
a certain shape? If they were going to use ballast, they just use rocks and stuff. It's
No,
they wouldn't-
they
wouldn't
use
carve them into-
cobblestones because they fit. They could stack them.
The
That's why
Romans
they were
actually
shaped.
used
Romans used them, yes.
cobblestones to begin with, and I don't know. I think that was just their technology, but
Cobblestone. It just sounds so British. Oh, cobblestones.
cobblestones. How are things in your port of shop?
That's because English, everything English people say.
Yeah, you
is-
don't get your own kidney stones. You get
It's so
cobble.
proper. It's so proper.
John,
I
those
know,
Tom
right?
Drake used to say when English people have an orgasm, they go, "I believe I've arrived."
I've arrived.
Nobody can see you.
Sorry about that.
With
I've
those
arrived on
glasses.
your face, darling.
Mike, nobody can see John, but with those glasses, he looks like he's a pundit on CNN, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Like
say
he's
something
like
smart.
he's there to
Say
talk
something
about
smart, John.
I
Say
did.
something
I just
smart.
told you the history of cobblestones.
It was
No,
all
no, we said
bullshit.
smart, not
It was all
snarky.
bullshit.
Hey, do you know
So-
what mortgage? Do you know what mortgage comes from? The word mortgage,
No.
death pledge, mort.
Okay, I have some ones that I looked up. They're called adages.
Adages.
Well,
Adages.
I've got a couple, but let's hear one. Let's hear yours. What do you?
This is one that I've never even heard. Right? Beware of Greeks bearing gifts.
I've
Beware
heard
of
that.
Greeks, yeah, especially from the rear.
What does that mean?
I hate
Why-
to leave my men behind. What?
Yeah, it means wear a truss is what it means. I don't know.
I don't know. You're the one that brought it up. What does it mean?
I don't know. I found.
I
the
know what it
list of these
means.
ones.
The
you know what
Trojan
I was
horse.
looking up? I had
The
one called-
Trojan horse.
You've heard "pleased as punch." I'm pleased as
No.
punch.
Oh, the Trojan horse.
Yeah, the Greeks brought the Trojan. Beware of Greeks bearing gifts because
there you go. Watch out.
And the
'cause
next
it's probably-
one is never
it's probably
look-
full of condoms.
And the other one
Trojan
says
horse.
never look a gift. So maybe that's what it means. Never look a gift
Yes.
horse in the mouth.
Wow. See,
yeah,
Craig
because
figured
there's
it out.
a bunch of Trojans in there ready to kill you.
That's it.
You
Bunch of
swallow
rubbers.
Trojans, you need a better line of work.
They've
There's no such thing as a free lunch.
And where does that come from?
never been to the NBC commissary.
I don't know.
No, the one
then
I
the
looked. I
next
liked
one
was
is-
called.
But
Pleased
then the
as-
next one is the best things in life are free.
Yes.
So
must
apparently
be
lunch
lunch.
is one of them.
Lunches must be a suck.
No.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
White?
Because I'm reading this.
Two schlongs don't make
Now,
a
this
white.
is two wrongs don't make a right, and I read it racistly last. Two wrongs don't make a white.
Yeah, but two lefts make a right. If you make two left turns, you're making a right turn. So come on.
Well, here's one
Practice
that you
makes
should know.
perfect.
Well, that's I don't
Practice.
know about perfect.
Here's one that John should know. I don't know. Maybe Craig might know this one too. When you say I'm as pleased as punch. You remember you've heard that saying, pleased as punch?
That's from Punch and
Yeah.
Judy, right?
Yes, it is. It's actually from Punch and Judy because the Punch character used to like, and this is sick. This is how sick. Goes back like 400 years. It's from England, the Punch and Judy, and Punch would like murder Judy, and he would murder people and kill them and punch them, and he was like delighted and happy, and he loved. He was like so excited. So they say you're as pleased as Punch. I mean, it's a really sick thing to say.
I just thought it meant Hawaiian punch. That's what I thought.
No, look at pleased as Punch, man. It's like because he's like he loves killing people and
That's
Yeah,
so funny.
Punch had anger issues. I think.
yes,
It started
went
with his
to-
name.
Punch went to anger management and killed him.
Or Judy. Freaking
Oh,
Judy,
man.
man. That's
What do we got, John? What's your next one?
he looks so studious. He does. You guys, he's got the glasses. He's like,
Hi, I'd like to talk to
Nothing
you
ventured,
guys.
nothing gained.
That's an easy one. I
You know,
mean,
not if you eat a lot of calories. Like
I don't know where it originates from, but it's just a basic saying: nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Yeah, if you stay home and play it safe, nothing good happens,
Yes.
and you can even get COVID, which
can
we'll find
even
out
get
in about a
COVID.
minute.
Oh,
I'll
that's
ask
right.
Alexa. Alexa, how much time left on the timer?
None of your business. Shut the fuck up, Craig.
I have 10 seconds left. You ready?
9,
Here it
8,
is.
7,
It's already
6,
going off.
5, 4, 3. It didn't turn green, did it?
Hold on, I'm gonna check.
It turns red. It turns orange, pink.
Pink.
I'm negative.
He's negative. Well, you know, there's a lot of false negatives. You probably got it. Don't worry
I'm
about
gonna
it.
test again later because I feel like shit. Alexa, stop. My Alexa's just going off now.
Yeah, I can't even say that name in my house because every time I say it, it comes awake. It's like you got to watch what you say.
But you do know that if you say Alexa and then play a certain podcast, he
Uh-huh.
will come on.
There you go. Exactly, which is very cool.
Alexa, stop. Sorry, my Alexa's going off.
What you don't know can hurt you.
Yes, it can.
Now that I know that, I'm scared.
Now, what did I have on when I was looking up a word? It was, let me see, it was oh yeah, meeting a deadline. You know what that is originates from?
It's fucked up.
You know what it is fucked up. You know what
Yeah.
it's from? It's from like Andersonville or the what do you call it? Like, yeah, Andersonville prison, and the Confederate prisoners had to go up to a certain line, and freaking, I guess that they would just kill them. It was like,
Yeah.
freaking
So if you go up to that line, you're dead.
come up and meet the deadline. I mean, come on, that's a little too
Wow.
obvious.
But yeah, but how did they get into like that became a thing like for newspapers and reporters? You have to hit the deadline and shit like that. So it kind of got perverted a little bit.
Yeah,
Maybe
a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush.
well, I'm gay, so I don't know about bushes.
I wouldn't mind getting two in the bush. Hey, ho, ho.
Why did I put a note next to that? Mike will love this one.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
You know
Craig
what?
will not.
You know what? Two in the bush is better than one in a shrub. I guess I don't know.
We had two bushes in the White House.
Hey,
There you go.
let's see. Two.
Whoa.
What do you have, Craig? You have one?
I do. This one is very strange. I don't really know where, but of course, I mean, we all love food. And you know where sandwich comes from, right?
No.
A man named John Montagu, who was the Earl of Sandwich. He was hungry and he asked for some meat to be put in between two pieces of bread, and they started calling it the sandwich.
Would you please put some meat between two slices of bread for me? I don't know what I would call this, but I'm the
really,
Earl of Sandwich.
Yes,
I'm
I'm really glad that Earl Asswipe didn't ask for that.
Can you go next door to see the Earl of Mustard?
The Earl of Sandwich.
I would like
That's
the Earl of Mustard to come
Earl
over.
of Sandwich.
That was like that guy a couple of weeks ago in the creepy story who called himself the Count. Made it up. Just made it up.
I want to be called. I want an official. I want a royal title. We got to talk to Ralph, or I guess we can find out ourselves. I want a list of what are the royal. You got counts, you got barons, you got what lord? What do you got?
Dukes.
A lord?
Dukes.
What's a lord? Is a lord just a somebody who owns land?
A lord.
Yeah, a duke is something else, but I think to be
Duke,
a
lord is a Tracy Lords. I think in a porn star is what I think.
No,
You want me to look it up?
Yeah, I think a lord. I think to be a lord, you just had to be a landowner. Duke of Royal Duke.
Earl,
So you got
The funniest line in that song was, "As I walk through my dukedom,
my dukedom."
The
nothing
Sir
can
Duke.
stop the Duke of Orleans."
Then you got what do you got? You got a baron. You got a barrister, which is a lawyer, but that's not an official royal title. Of course, you got queen, prince, princess. You got king. I'm thinking, what's some lower titles? I want to start calling. I don't want to pretend like I'm too big.
A lower title. You
want,
already said baron.
Like, what's the least of the royal titles? I want that.
Schmuck.
Schmuck. So schmuck, yeah. So schmuck grief. You know what? Actually, schmuck is the fucking tip of is what they cut off of when they circumcise you. It's fucking was what
that's a schmuck.
The part they cut off is the schmuck. I think that's
The schmuck.
Yeah, schmuck. Cut the schmuck off of him. Oh, you got a little too much schmuck.
What's a
there.
schmeckel then?
The oldest son
Schmeckel is
of
the whole thing, I
the
think.
oldest son of a duke
Yes.
who's used as a duke subsidiary titles.
Subsidiary.
Other children will be used as honorary title as lord or lady.
So in other words, so if you're the important son of a duke, you're something else. But if you're an unimportant son of a duke, you're a lord.
Right.
I'm a lord. I'm a Lord Grief.
Here you go.
Lord.
Good
Here you go.
Lord,
Listen.
grief.
All right. Here's what you asked for. The ranking of
Oh, good.
Yes.
Let's go.
I want to know the
There
ranking
was a
of the
list.
English
Where would our show
royalty.
be without a smartphone, ladies and gentlemen? That's what I'm
That's
at.
right. Wouldn't be as,
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, there's a lot of them.
Just start
There's a
reading,
lot of
John.
these titles.
Just start reading.
Titles of nobility.
You don't have to
Schmeckel.
read them all,
The
John.
Duke
Get
is
to
the,
the
highest.
schmeckel.
Duke is the highest ranked.
Dude.
Lord Schmeckel,
Then after that is the Marquess.
the Marquis.
Marquis. No,
It says
Marquis.
Marquess. I guess
Well,
it's
Marquess.
plural.
but it's pronounced
Marquis.
Marquis.
Yes. That's I don't even know.
And then after the Marquis
The
is
Count.
an
Oh, I
Earl.
forgot Count.
Is an Earl.
Count. The Count.
I don't
Then
think
there's a
Count.
Viscount.
Discount. That's when you get everything for free.
Viscount.
Viscount. I
A
want a
fourth
discount.
rank.
I'm a cheap count. What are you? I'm a
Then you're a
discount.
baron.
Baron.
Right. Right. Just like Trump's kid, Baron.
Then you're a landed gentry.
What?
A landed gentry.
Bobby Gentry?
Landed gentry. Then there's a
landed
lordship.
Your lordship.
Yeah, thank you, Lordship.
Fish and chips, your lordship.
Yeah, I
The
like
daughter of a lord is called master or mistress.
Oh no.
hooah. She's a
The
hooah.
wife of an earl is called lady.
Lady.
I thought that would be a duchess.
No.
That would be a duke's wife, a duchess. No.
Luke's wife is a duchess. A lady.
Duchess.
A lady in waiting.
Every time I hear Duchess, I think of the Jerry Lewis telethon. And Dutchess County is reporting. Okay. Only people in New York are going to get down.
Yeah. So
In Dutchess County.
let's limit our audiences now.
Yeah, just the New Yorkers like, thank
All
you,
right,
Craig.
well, this
for
has
being
been very
narrow-minded.
educational.
This was the educational show today.
Hey,
This
do
is
you know what? Do you know where the term muscle comes from?
Where does the muscle, like the animal, the
No,
shelled-
the muscle, like in your
the
arm.
muscle in my am.
Yeah, it comes from mucilus, which means little mouse, because people thought that when you moved your arm and the muscle would move, there was little mice running under your skin.
Wow.
Weren't people stupid?
People were fucking stupid then.
Hey, look, there's a little mouse running under
There's
your
a little
arm.
mouse. And you know what? You know how they got rid of it? With a leech. More leeches. So a couple of weeks ago,
medieval barber. Yes.
a couple of weeks ago, I told a creepy story about the count who took this woman and
Count who made sandwiches, the Monte Cristo.
no,
Count
he
the Monte Cristo sandwiches.
the woman that stole the guy that stole the woman's body and danced with her. I guess that's the way to put it.
Piano string chick.
So a couple, yes, he put her back together with piano string. So a couple of people have asked me. They thought it was very funny how Craig and Mike interjected their wisdom into my story.
I've never interjected with Mike.
I have another story if you'd like to hear it.
She has another story.
Go for it. Go for it.
All right. Well, we need some creepy music. Okay, so this story has to do with the Waverly Sanatorium.
Oh, man. Waverly Sanatorium.
The Waverly Sanatorium was built in the woodlands of Kentucky because back then they had no idea what
Where Kentucky was.
They had no idea where Kentucky was. They figured put it in Kentucky because what else they got going there? Anyway, so they put it in the woodlands of Kentucky because there was no cure for tuberculosis. They called it consumption because what it would do is it would consume your entire body and you would lose weight and die.
I've consumed the entire body.
So that would be big today. Hey, man, you know what? I need to lose some weight. Can I get a little consumption here?
My favorite band is the Fine Young Cannibals.
So they built this hospital and it was 6 stories and they had a supply tunnel that ran from the 6th floor down to the 1st floor, so that like they could just put the supplies, because in the wintertime they wouldn't have to go out in the cold and they could go from floor to floor.
And today it's a water slide.
So now what happened was, in this period before there was, when you signed in to work in the hospital, you signed in there your life. You weren't allowed to leave.
What?
So it was a death sentence, basically.
If you were a patient, you signed in
No,
for...
if you worked there.
Really?
Yes, you weren't allowed to leave.
Sounds
You
like
weren't
a
allowed
good job to
go.
me.
Boy, they needed a fucking union, didn't they?
And what the crazy part was, so they had their own farms, they had their own post office, they had their own schools, gym, they had everything.
In some
However, they were afraid that the people who worked there would go out into the general public and be able to spread the disease.
Right.
However, every day at 4:00 they had visiting hours where people came in.
So they
and
worried
visit
about the
with
people living there,
people,
but visitors.
and then they
come
would
in
go
and
into the neighborhood and spread tuberculosis.
There you go.
Beautiful. Way to go.
That's how little they knew about it. So there was a lot of experimental medicine going on at the time because they had no idea what
Did
to
they
do.
have the jab?
So, one doctor decided that he'd put a pound of a sandbag with 1 pound on each lung, and then the next week put another pound of sand on each. So you got 5 pounds of sand on each lung, figuring when you remove the sandbags, you'd be able to breathe easier.
That
Oh,
actually
this
makes
is
a lot of
this
sense.
way. This was my father's theory about shoes. He used to wear his shoes 2 sizes too small because he loved the way it felt when he took them off.
Well,
What the-
unfortunately, these people never made it to the 5 pounds. They would die because they couldn't breathe.
Yeah, would had 5
So,
pounds of fucking shit on there.
The rumor has it, and statistics shows, that 8,000 people died there in 4 years.
Wow.
Hospital administration said it's an out and out lie. It's only 6,000.
Oh, okay.
Which
That's a lot
makes
different.
it so much better.
Yeah, it's so much better.
And
This music is creeping me the fuck
I
out.
know.
the rate of death in this hospital was so bad that they didn't want other patients that were living to see how many people were dying. So
Right.
they started stashing stretchers full of dead people down the supply chute,
Who
Bring
hasn't
out
done
your
that?
dead.
which became the death tunnel. When
Didn't
they
they-
ran out of floor space, they actually hung bodies on meat hooks
Ooh,
in the morgue.
this is
This
starting to sound
Now,
really
this is
good.
a true story, or are you making
This
this,
is true.
up?
This is a true story.
Why am I getting
Absolute
Why
true
am I
story.
getting horny?
So there was a doctor working there, Dr. King.
Oh, look, see, royalty came into it. Dr. King.
No,
Was he the Duke of Death?
Dr. King.
Dr.
No
King.
relation. No relation.
Where's the Duchess?
No relation to he had a dream.
No,
Oh, no,
Anyway,
okay.
he had a nightmare.
and people kind
Paging
of
Dr.
thought
King. Paging
People-
Dr. King.
people kind of thought that Dr. King Dr. King was kind of creepy. Some doctors questioned his operating techniques. They said that he felt like it was pretty unethical, and he was just a lot of stuff happened there.
He used
There
to walk
was-
through with a cleaver and licking the end of the cleaver.
He there was a story about he was watching the kids in the playground on the roof. This little kid he really didn't like mysteriously fell off the roof
Mysteriously.
and
Head
fell off the
first.
roof.
He had
said he was,
consumption.
he said he was chasing his ball at the time.
Yeah.
Or
Or
his
chasing his
avocado.
avocado. There you go.
And he said there was he goes, there was no reason for an investigation. So this cute little 22-year-old nurse, Mary Bogart,
How do we know she's cute?
because
Well,
there's pictures of her.
She knows
Oh,
she
I
didn't.
pictures of her.
She wouldn't pass the joint.
Now we know
Mary
why
Bo-
John's into
Mary
this.
Bogart would never pass the joint.
Well, anyway, Mary Bogart Lee, actually. Mary
Lee.
Lee Bogart. I'm sorry.
Mary
Lee.
Bogart.
Fucking weed, bro.
She was really cute and she was really upbeat person and everyone loved working with her. And people used to say to her, how can you work in a hospital where when you took this job, you're going to die here?
Weed.
And she said, I don't believe in that. I believe our fate is already sealed.
Pass the Dutchie
And
on
what's
the
ever going to
left-hand
happen is
side.
going to happen.
Yeah.
So she worked there and she met Dr. King.
Dr.
And they
King.
started going out, and all the other nurses were saying, don't go out with this guy. Many nurses have gone out with him, and they just quit work.
Don't go on the roof with this guy.
They don't ever come back to work. They just quit, and they don't ever come back. So she starts going out with him, and after 6 months, she becomes pregnant. It's the first love of her life. So she says to Dr. King, "I'm pregnant," and he goes off the deep end. He starts yelling at her and just cuts her out and takes her and her friend Mary and puts them on the night shift. And the night shift was like the day shift, except it was
night.
Except it was dark. And what they did was, it was a skeletal crew. So where normally you would have 20 nurses on the floor, you only had 3. So everyone hated the night shift.
Right.
So, which brings us to your graveyard shift.
Graveyard. That's that's a real term. Graveyard shift. It's like a guy who used to sit in the graveyard waiting to hear the bell ring. They used to put bells in coffins because so many people were buried and they
alive.
weren't dead. They were alive.
Yeah, and they were called dead ringers.
Dead ringers. There you go.
No, that's a boxing term.
Anyway,
so she, she just went off the deep end. So finally, I'm not talking to her, and she's heartbroken because this is the love of her life. So finally, he comes up to her and he says to her, "Listen, I'm really sorry I acted that way, and I bought you this bottle of perfume." So he gives this bottle of perfume, which is her favorite perfume. She opens it up, and as soon as she puts it to her nose, she realizes it's chloroform.
Oh, fuck.
Which is my favorite cologne.
And they find her hanging by her neck off a sprinkler pipe in room 504, which is considered the most haunted place at the Waverly.
Room 504.
So she hung there for 3 days before anyone found her. So I know, good staffing.
So wait a minute.
Yeah, I know, really.
So Dr. King gave her this perfume, but it was chloroform?
Chloroform.
So was he related to Bill Cosby? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I think he took the Cosby Book of Love.
Okay. There you go.
So anyway, they found her. She died. And then Mary, her friend, got stuck going to room 504.
She got stuck in that tunnel of death.
So she complained that she would hear the sounds of an unborn baby crying.
Oh, man.
And she would hear the sounds of her friend crying. And after they told
How does an unborn baby cry?
I don't know, ask Prince. It sounds like something that he would sing.
Craig's doing it right now. He's doing the unborn baby, dead baby crying.
So anyway, I think he's frozen.
No, he's not frozen.
Oh, he's doing the cry. Yeah. Anyway, she said, "I can't work in that room anymore." Dr. King said she had to. And a year later, she jumped from the 5th floor to her death.
She jumped from the roof.
She
got indicted on the roof.
And so Dr. King also said there's no need for any investigations or anything.
Yeah.
So in 1968, when they closed the Waverly down for the first time, for the last time, I guess, because it had become a nursing home in 65, but was closed down for neglect. The Kentucky Board of Registry asked them to send a name of all the nurses, doctors, orderlies that worked during the pandemic so they could put their name on a bronze plaque inside the lobby. So they sent off everybody's IDs, and within a week from the Kentucky Board of Registry, they got back a letter that they had no record of a Dr. King.
What?
So they thought that maybe, this was a mistake. So they sent it to the American Medical Association. Within 2 weeks, they got back a letter that there was no Dr. King registered.
Oh, my God.
So they sent it off to the FBI, and within 48 hours, they got back a mugshot of a Dr. Robert Kingsley, a convicted murderer who escaped from the Kentucky penitentiary, whose only medical training was he once worked in an operating room as an orderly.
Well, that qualifies you.
And he was the chief of surgery and walked out that door and was never seen from or heard from again.
So that story worked out.
For him.
That really cheered me up. There you go, John. Thanks for that. So there was a hospital in Kentucky where people were dying, and if they weren't dying, the doctors were killing them. But they weren't really doctors because it was like he was just an escape nut job from.
So anyway, the Waverly Sanatorium right now is a place where you can go and visit. You can take a tour.
They sell hot dogs?
And what they're doing, it's considered travel. It's considered the most haunted place in America.
I'm going to set up a hot dog stand outside. I bet you.
If you'd like to know more about it, you can go to my website, waverlyseance.com. And there's a lot of pretty interesting stories about that place. And now the owners of it, the new owners, because my friend Chris is friends with them, they decided that they want to make it a hotel.
Well, there you go. Come on and stay where people died. I mean, what's the world coming to? John, all I want to know is there a hot dog stand? I mean, do you really think people are going to want to stay in a hotel?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, I do.
I wish, John, you had told me when that story was going to end, because then I could have played the music. Dun, 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 dun. That would have been really cool.
I think it's interesting. I think it's very interesting that
I'm worried about you, John. I'm going to be honest.
John loves that spooky.
He does. He like the spooky, creepy.
Well, when I just was in New York, my daughter got me a VIP hard hat tour of the abandoned hospitals at Ellis Island.
Nice.
At least there was no beeswax in this story.
Honestly, well, you know, my wife wants.
Well,
to take
listen
a trip
to this.
England.
This
I
is
want
what
to take the Jack the Ripper tour. So I
Okay,
guess I'm just as morbid.
So, and Ellis Island, right? These poor people in steerage and second class.
Yeah.
They, you know, they were beat up by the time they came across, you know, and so you had to walk up this long flight of stairs, and there were doctors on the stairs, and they would go, limping, and they put an L on you. C, like he looked like he was crazy. Or, you know, if your eyes were all bloodshot from not sleeping, they put an E with chalk.
Right.
Then you would go to these different parts. If they thought you were insane, just because, and you could have looked insane from traveling like an idiot for those days, they would commit you to this locked ward on this mental institution for 48 hours to evaluate you. A lot of people, this is really crazy. A lot of people would get chlamydia of their eyes.
Ew.
Wait a minute. Isn't that a venereal disease?
I've been to Club Media. It's pretty cool.
Isn't
Anyway,
chlamydia a venereal
so
disease?
listen, this is how they checked you. You know what? There used to be a tool that people would button their shoes with. It was looked like a crochet hook.
Had like a hook, yeah.
They would take that and hook it under your eye and lift your eye up.
Use that on ice skates. That was for ice skates.
To see if you had it, and they would do both your eyes. But they knew nothing about sterilization. So the next person would come, they use the same hook.
Yeah.
And probably give it to you.
So as you tell this creepy story, I'll play this music.
Where was Louis Pasteur?
Go ahead, tell us.
And then everyone would die. Hey, they get a disease in their eyes. Chlamydia in the eye. I got chlamydia in my eye. Hi. Chlamydia in my eye.
Okay, sorry.
So
Is there a hot dog stand, John?
Yeah, we need. You're obsessed with the hot dogs.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
Maybe we'll make that a catchphrase for the
You
show.
sound like baby.
How you doing? I'm hungry.
Remember Baby Huey?
Baby Huey.
No, I don't
Let
know.
me tell you something. Whether you guys like it or not, people are fascinated with these kind of stories.
Oh no, we're definitely fascinated. We're just creeped out that you're so into it.
No, I'm glad you told it. I needed the nap. Anyway.
That deserves some music.
I don't want to. I don't want you to think I'm doing anything funny. I'm not afraid of that.
I don't know. I was really into that death tunnel.
Oh, that's another thing too. Michael Carbonaro is in Vegas at the Penn and Teller Theater.
I think I'm going to take a trip and go see him.
Well, let me know because he'll,
Yeah, he's in the Penn and Teller Theater in the Rio. And
what dates? He's there now until when?
He's there now until July, and I will tell you the exact date. It's Thursday through Sunday.
Nice.
And yeah, let me see. I can tell you the exact dates, I think. Very prepared. I had this up. I had this up there at one point.
While John is looking it up, remember, if you want to email us or ask us any kind of question whatsoever, just send your emails to thebigbadbroadcast@gmail.com. We will answer all emails eventually.
Eventually. In Kentucky.
He's there until July 2nd.
July 2nd.
Been there for a while
Michael
now.
Carboner. Well, this was an interesting show. Have we come to the hilt?
We've come to the end.
We've come. Looks like this is the end, but stay tuned for
I'm
another
so glad we had this time
underdog
together.
adventure.
I'm so glad we had this time together.
John, pull your ear. Pull your ear.
I am not slow.
Yeah, you got to pull your ears.
Pull your headphone.
Okay.
Oh my!
I look so different in glasses, don't I?
You do. You look like a superhero.
I just want to punch you.
He looks like a superhero. Like you whip off the glasses and you become a magician.
Did you guys have you guys seen the Ant-Man, the new one or whatever it is?
No, Quantum Mania. No, I haven't seen it yet, actually.
So I was trying to watch it on the plane coming back from New York.
I'm sorry.
But there is a very funny line in there. There's a very funny line in it. He's walking through the street in New York. He goes into this bagel place. And he goes, here's your bagels. And he goes, how much are you? He goes, you don't know it's anything. And he's like, oh, guy goes, thanks. And the guy behind the counter goes, thank you, Spider-Man.
That's funny. Oh man.
I'm sorry, but overall I was severely disappointed by that movie.
I didn't see it, so
not great. And
are we hit the because I'm gonna go check on the progress of my wood floors.
We can say goodbye. You want to have a bit of music to say goodbye? I can do that. Yeah, let's play that as we go out. Hold on, here we go.
All right. So anyway, this is the Big Bad Broadcast, and you can catch us anywhere where you listen to your podcast.
The Podcast Playground.
Yeah.
Spotify. We're everywhere.
Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Google.
We're like iChlamydia. We're everywhere.
This music is perfect for iChlamydia. All right. And remember, email us. The Big Bad Broadcast @gmail.com. Email us. Bye.
Bye.
It ended perfectly.